Yo, West Coast trail hikers. Hey, I got in a couple of emails from folks that are doing a yo-yo. And a yo-yo is when you're heading on the trail in one direction and then you turn around at some point and head back in the other direction. And this can be pretty common. It can be like a full trail bounce, or it can be a bounce from a camp but somewhere on in the middle of the trail. And the app doesn't really support that properly today. It kind of assumes a unidirectional travel. But there is a way to make it work using the Save Trips feature. So I'm going to give you a quick demo on how that works and how you'd set up a yo-yo using the app. So let's assume in my scenario, I'm going to enter Balatzid, which is the midpoint, or Nidinat, and I'm going to head north on May 15th, and I'm going to spend one night at Suziat Falls. And then on May 16th, I'm going to turn around and start heading south. And from that point, I'm going to go all the way down to Gordon River. So it's a little quirky, but let me show you how that would work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a trip, which I've already set up here, which is for my northern bound segment. So here I'm going from Nidinat to Pachina, which is the only choice I can really make. I can't choose that's my exit point, even though I'm not actually going to exit there. And I'm just going to put in a one-night trip, which is Suziat, and that's where I'm going to be on the first day. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new trip. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to click that save button here. And then if I go to the save tab, it's going to show up in the save tab and just keep that trip around. So now I can go back in here and I can change my trip. And now I'm going to set up my southbound trip, which will be leaving on the 16th. And, because I'm southbound, I'm going to say I'm starting at Pachino, where obviously I'm actually starting at Suziat. And then I'm going to exit at Gordon River. And then I'm going to do 5 nights on the trail from here. And I'm going to pick up a couple of different camps. I'm going to, let's say I'm going to do Kamana there. And I'm going to do cribs on the first night. Okay, so this is what my southbound portion looks like. In actual fact, I'm not starting from Pachino. I'm starting from Suziat, but it's the correct day. And then my next camp is going to be cribs, and then so forth as I get through the night. I'm going to do 2 nights at Kamana. Why not? Okay, so if I go back to settings here, then I can come here and I have that southbound configured, and I'm going to save that trip as well. And now if I go to the save tabs, you can see both my northbound and southbound trip. And so what I would do on the day is I would switch to this trip, and I would follow this guide all the way until I get to Suziat, which is really only a couple of cards. And then I would kind of ignore the rest of the cards that are down here. And then I would go ahead and go back to save trips. And on the morning of May 16th, I would switch to this, which would give me the southbound leg. And unfortunately, on the first day, you're going to have to scroll down to Suziat to start those cards here. And you'll follow those until you get to cribs. And then once you're on to the next day, day 2, my recommendation there is to go up and use, these little filters here. So then you'd filter for day 2, and I'd see my cribs to Kamana leg. Or day 3, actually day 3 is a rest day because I'm staying there for 2 nights. And then day 4, I would see my Kamana down onwards. So yeah, that's a pretty straightforward way to just set up a northbound and a southbound trip in Save Trips. And you can just come back to that Save Trips tab and just flip between those pre-configured trips really easily. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Just feel free to email me if you have any questions.